Pioneer brand canola with Optimum Gly, the highest yielding glyphosate-tolerant trait on the market. What's next in canola happens here.
Now, Eric, Prince Edward Island really has become the land of cover crops. Tell us about the growth of cover crops here on the island. I mean, it just keeps growing and going.
It does, Vern, and it has changed. Even just the 5 seasons that I've been here, I've noticed a big change. And there's been a number of drivers on this. Of course, our soils predominantly are light textured, lower organic matter. We used to have a fairly strong livestock base, and once that livestock base disappeared, we've got significant acres, of course, as you know, potatoes. And growers were really struggling to maintain the tilth of the soil, the organic matter levels, and soil health in general. And soil health certainly can be a challenge. And cover crops, one of those integral parts, management aspects that help tremendously. And growers on PI have integrated cover crops into their rotations.
Talk about, I guess, the effort. I know Ryan Barrett at the Potato Board, and the Potato Board has done a lot of work and to integrate cover crops, and they're actually seeing results in yield.
They are. Yes, again, credit to Ryan and his team at the PI Potato Board. What's happening with some of the growers is they are actually adopting a new rotation. It's potatoes followed by a full season long cover crop. Could be radish in this case, or it could be sorghum-sudan grass, or a mix, but it's planted for the entire season. And then the second year they may choose to keep that if it has some perennials in there, or they would seed another annual cover crop and then back in the third year to potatoes. And what's interesting, Ryan's demonstrated this, is that there's a significant bump up in potato yields in the range of 10%. But as I mentioned earlier, the driver here is soil health. And when we lost the livestock and we lost a lot of that ground in forages, perennial forages, our soil health suffered very quickly. Organic matters dropping below 2%, ground becoming, or soil becoming more erodible, both with wind and water. So the interest in cover crops is truly rocketed. As you said, the land or the island of cover crops.
Hey, talk about what we're standing in here now, Eric. You've got some radish. Talk about this. This is a spring planted radish. Take us through, I guess, the life cycle of this cover crop.
Sure. So this was planted probably about 3 to 4 weeks ago. Very rapid growth. There'll be a little bit of fertilizer to enhance that dry matter production and vegetative growth, but that'll be disced in or worked in midsummer, and then they'll plant a second series of radish or another cover crop, but usually the radish back to back. And this would go into potatoes in 2025. But it is worth noting that the previous crop here was sorghum-sudan grass, again a pure or monoculture cover crop. And in 2022, this would have been potato ground. So it's a 3-year rotation with the radish in there. The radish accomplishes quite a few things in terms of sucking up that nitrogen, really making the ground mellow. It creates an incredible seed bed next year. One pass and the ground is essentially ready for potatoes. It's a great system.
And you mentioned as well, hey, after, extensive cover cropping, it's going to open up fields like this to maybe some more cash crops, maybe some winter wheat. So we're going to be able to get some more cash crops into open seasons of cover crops.
That's right. Again, in terms of the production system that we're talking about here, I think one of the things that mentioned earlier was this hard focus on soil health. They really need to move that along as quickly and rapidly as they can. Once we get back into a stable state, or a situation where the ground is getting a green light on soil health, I think that'll open up the opportunities then to diversify the crop rotation, integrate some cash crop back in, and keep cover crops, as well as we mentioned in the other videos with wheat, followed by a winter or shoulder season cover crop. So sky's the limit, but right now this is really cool. It's attracting a lot of attention in the industry, but even the tourists like it. You'll see them off in the fields taking pictures and going, "What's this crop?" Well, it's the various cover crops, as we mentioned, on PEI.